Welcome to the Been There Doing That podcast. I'm Robert Scrivener.
And I'm Gayla Scrivener.
We left the 9-to-5 grind, downsized, and our goal is to have freedom to live and to work from just about anywhere. Guess what day it is?
It's Christmas Day.
It is. But guess what 2 days ago was?
It was your birthday.
That's right.
It sure was. We're recording this on Christmas Day. We've had a fantastic week.
Beautiful weather.
With family time, but there's always adventure if you...
Well, there always is.
There always is. If you just open your eyes and see.
That's right.
Well, it was your birthday.
Uh-huh.
And I told you we could do whatever you wanted.
Okay. Get in the car. Let's go.
And we didn't even leave that early.
No, we left at 10:30.
And...
Ish.
10:30-ish. Because you woke up that morning.
Late. I slept in.
You did. But you didn't have any plan.
No.
And then all of a sudden we were in the vehicle and I had no idea where we were going.
I said, get in the car. Let's go.
I had no idea what we were in store for.
Anything I wanted to do, so get in the car, let's go. And I wanted to drive.
And we drove.
For 3.5 hours.
Until we arrived at a place that I had never heard of.
Woolaroc.
Say what?
Woolaroc. W-O-O-L-A-R-O-C. Woolaroc.
And it was a museum and wildlife preserve.
That is correct.
You kept telling me where we were going, but I had no
you had
idea
no
what you were talking.
We're going to north central Oklahoma.
Yeah, which is about, what did you say?
3.5 hours for 200 miles one way.
We got there. I didn't know what to expect. You already had done some research. How did you find out about this place?
I had found out about this place from one of the private groups that I follow. It may not be private, but there's several mountain men groups on Facebook, and I think I found out about it through there. People had mentioned that the museum is worth going to.
And come to find out, you told me that earlier this year you had it on our itinerary when we were going out west.
Yes.
I don't remember that at all.
We was going to hit a ham fest in Claremore.
Mm-hmm.
After that, the next morning, we were going to wake up and go to Woolaroc and then on to the salt flats in Jet, Oklahoma.
But we didn't do that.
Nope.
So we hightailed it to Woolaroc on your birthday.
Yeah.
And I believe, goodness, we got there
at 2:05-ish in the afternoon. And from what I read, they close at 5 p.m.
So we didn't think we were going to be there very long.
No.
Until we found out at the gate that there was Christmas lights.
There are Christmas lights, and we're open till 9 o'clock tonight. You want to stay for that? Why, certainly. I do.
So we stayed a lot longer than we anticipated. But, hey, Tucker.
Yeah, just shake it off there, buddy.
Shake it off. Yes. We record with the wiener dogs right here.
Yeah. He's got a face for radio.
Yes, he does. But anyway.
Got sidetracked.
We got to Woolaroc. It's cost about $12 per adult.
Yes.
And then I think there's special rates for over 65. But
seniors.
You're not quite there, even though it was your birthday.
That's correct.
They didn't give special birthday rates. But we didn't ask either.
That's true. Just let me in.
Well, we drove up the driveway. I had no idea what was in store. I thought you said that there was going to be some bison. And I thought, oh, that may be like Prairie. Where's that? Prairie
State Park?
Yeah, Prairie State Park.
Yeah.
But every time the last couple of times that we drove past there, we didn't see any bison.
No, they were
kind of disappointed.
Well, they were probably tired of people seeing.
That's probably right.
Yeah.
Well, as we drove up to the museum up this one-way driveway.
2 miles long.
Oh, my goodness. We saw
tons and tons and literally tons of bison and elk, deer
and
zebras, ostrich, emus, mountain goats.
Just driving up to the museum. So I was pleased.
Animals have free reign.
Pretty much.
Yep.
I think that...
Water buffalo. Even seen water buffalo.
Oh, yeah. I think that they are fenced in somewhat because once you get up to the museum, I don't think that the bison get up
Free
into the
reign up
parking lot. No.
Okay.
I don't think so.
That's the cattle guard we crossed.
Probably.
That went...
I don't remember that. Must have been sleeping.
No, I think you were in awe.
I might have been.
Look at this place.
So I got all excited. I was like, what's in store for us, Robert? Well, we got up there and...
I had to go to the El Baño. Muy pronto.
Oh, my goodness. You were getting a little grumpy.
I was.
There were two vehicles in front of us, and the first one up there was going excruciatingly
baby
slow.
could crawl faster than that vehicle was going.
And we go slow.
Yeah.
But this was... And it didn't even look like they were gawking at anything.
No.
They were just going extremely slow. And you peeled around them as soon as you could.
Oh, as soon as
Found a parking spot, left me in the vehicle, and you promptly...
hightailed it to an El Baño.
Right into the museum.
Yep. Made it just in a wee bit of time.
Wee bit of time. Well, your mood changed after that. You were in a much better mood.
Yeah, I was under pressure.
The pressure limits. There's only so much there. Oh, well, this is a clean show, so let's move on.
All right. Yeah.
And I didn't know what to expect with the museum, but the museum ended up being it was a Western, cowboys and Indians, a collection of sculptures, paintings, and artifacts. And I still was like, why is this here? I had no idea.
That's why we have to read some stuff.
We did. But come to find out, Woolaroc was...
Well, let's stop right there.
Okay.
Woolaroc.
Yes.
It is named Woolaroc for the woods, lakes, and the rocks.
Mm-hmm.
So he just took a little bit from each word and made it Woolaroc.
Yes.
And it's 3,700 acres.
Yes.
For people that wanted to know.
And who coined the name Woolaroc?
I believe it was Frank Phillips.
Mm-hmm. He owned Phillips 66.
Phillips Petroleum Company.
Mm-hmm. Back in the early 20s, mid-20s.
Yeah, since it's his last name, I guess he could do with whatever he wanted to.
Well, yeah.
So there you go.
That's where the name came from. I'm going to read here from the About Us page from Woolaroc.
Yeah.
It said the name was originally intended for the rustic lodge ranch house, but it was so unique that it soon became the name for the entire Phillips Ranch.
Huh.
Yeah. So he built this ranch. What town is it? It's in Oklahoma.
It's in north central-ish Oklahoma. I think it's 50 miles or so north of Tulsa. And the closest town that I know of that we went through was Bartlesville.
Yeah, it was right outside of Bartlesville.
10 miles or so.
He came to Oklahoma in the early 20s, I believe. Mm-hmm. And that's where he settled. And he had a place in town, did his business, but then he had the ranch.
A retreat. A refugium, as you may. A
refugium.
Yeah.
Our close family knows where that word comes from. But anyway, well, good.
He had to get out and get away, even though it was close.
Well, he wanted to preserve kind of the West that he knew growing up. And he had a lot of dealings with the Osage Indians because he had oil wells on their land. And I was reading after we got home that he had such good relations with the Indians, and they even incorporated him into their tribe and gave him like an honorary chief title.
Well, I'm glad you read this stuff. I was too busy taking pictures and other stuff.
Well, I learned that after we got home, after I did some more research. But they were quite honored, and he treated them quite well, and had very good relations. And
good.
And he was such a collector of Indian artifacts and ranch cowboy stuff and
paraphernalia.
And he wanted to preserve the animals. So he had gotten several buffalo in the early 20s and elk, and he even had a place for exotic animals that would come and live out their days there.
He was also friends with Ringling.
With the circus.
Ringling Circus, yeah.
There's some pretty cool stories about that.
And we're not going to give it all away.
No, we're not going to give it all away.
We're going to give some highlights.
We did watch a film there, and they said that we're the best kept secret in Oklahoma, and they don't want to be. And I have to agree, they shouldn't be a secret.
No, it's worth going to. It's off the beaten path, but it's worth going to.
It is. And
it's a destination.
It is a destination.
Yep.
In a cute little town next to it, but you can spend all day. And we spent
5 hours there.
5 hours there. We stayed for the Christmas lights. It was the last night.
We just went to the museum and did the Christmas lights and a small petting zoo.
Oh, and they do have a cute petting zoo.
Yeah.
And cute little playground area for kids. There's trails that you can walk on, but we didn't have time to do that.
Well, we need to go back and do it again just to see stuff that we didn't see.
But we did tour the lodge.
That's that and the museum. Those are the main two things that I wanted to see. And I got to see them because it was my birthday.
What was your favorite part?
Ooh, favorite part was probably the Native American stuff. Accoutrements.
Examples. What did you see that you liked a lot?
Oh, their blankets, horse blankets. Their the way they built moccasins. Bow and arrow quirts.
What's that?
Small whip.
You were fascinated, and I noticed you doing a lot of filming.
Beads.
With the beading.
Yep, the stuff that had the beadings on it.
The leather work and the beading, because you're into bags.
I like bags. I like totes.
You've been making a lot of leather bags and a lot of kind of the Native American style and mountain man style.
Crossover.
Yeah.
Ish.
Exactly. And they had a lot of nice artifacts. And I'm sure that some of those were made by artisans in the 20s. So it was, I'm sure he got them new. But they're so
and
old
guess
now.
What? Yeah. The 20s is not far away, so that makes them almost 100 years old.
That's true. That is true. And I liked not only the bags, but now that we're doing beadwork more, and I'm learning some of that, I look at that and feel like I can do that.
I can do that. I could do that.
It's amazing how many million seed beads there are.
Millions, billions, billions.
How intricate. And there was a nice representation of several different tribes of their artwork. What else did we see? Sculptures?
Lots.
And there was a whole room of guns?
Lots of, they even had a Gatling gun.
What's that?
First machine gun.
Oh, okay.
Where you sit there and you crank it and it goes...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
Gatling gun. Not for Larry Gatlin of the Gatlin brothers.
Oh, okay.
Different Gatlin.
Okay. I just imagine that kind of gun in Indiana Jones.
Yeah, that's probably it.
Okay.
They had all kinds of, black powder pistols to, pepper boxes to, carbines.
Well, Mr. Frank Phillips had his little refugium at the ranch at Woolaroc. He had his lodge, but he entertained there. He had his West Coast and East Coast highfalutin people that didn't know much about the country or anything like that. But that's where he made a lot of deals, and he had a lot of events there, and he seemed to have a good sense of humor.
Yeah, it sounded like he had a great sense of humor.
We won't give it away. You need to go to Woolaroc and see the museum, watch the films that are there.
Yeah, it's educational, just watching the films. He had a good sense of humor. Just, you need to go.
I was surprised that they had a whole room of toys.
Where was that?
That was in the museum. Remember all those dolls?
Oh, yes.
And that one creepy doll.
I think that's watching me as I moved around the room.
Oh, that one was creepy. But, a lot of those dolls from the 20s, they weren't that attractive.
No.
No. And nightmarish.
And a whole train set, like a railroad.
Yes,
miniature
that was
railroad.
fun.
That was huge.
And you saw a bicycle?
High wheel bicycle.
I didn't see that.
Oh, it was right by the trains. You involved with the trains?
I think I was. I liked the train.
Train set was big.
It was huge. And then I was surprised that the museum kept going on and on and on and on.
And on.
And then we saw an airplane.
A full-size, record-setting airplane.
Yes.
Yep.
We walked around the grounds at night, which was nice.
Beautiful.
And we went over to the petting zoo.
Mm-hmm.
And saw a cute little Dexter cow. He was so cute. Full grown, but really, really miniature. And I love the goats. And the quail were so loud.
Noisy quail.
And baby goats.
Bert and Ernie.
The bunnies.
The bunnies.
That's
That's what I named them, Bert and Ernie. I don't know what their names were.
Yeah. Makes me want to have a little miniature farm, but that doesn't go very well if we want to travel.
No.
Maybe someday if we settle down.
Yeah, when we settle down.
And the cutest baby goats. They were smaller than our little wiener dogs.
They were small.
Mm-hmm. Taller legs, but very small bodies.
Very long legs, but a lot shorter body.
They were so cute. Wanted to see if we could take one home, but
You'd have to learn to, potty train one in the car.
Yeah. I bet you we would be the only one with a goat overlanding.
Yeah.
No. Don't you have somebody that you follow?
Oh, yes.
That's a ham radio person?
Yes. Steve.
That does goats?
Steve.
He travels with goats.
He does travel with. Peanut was the one that he rode in the front seat. And was his pack goat.
Uh-huh.
Packs his antennas up to he lives in Colorado. Huh. Packs his antennas up to the, when he's climbing. Yeah.
Well, we'll need to find some other animal to go with. A miniature donkey. How about that?
A donkey?
I enjoyed the petting zoo, just like a little kid would. It was fun. And you had a close encounter with an emu.
I did. A very close encounter.
That was
He wanted to take my drink away from me, and I said,
Startled us both.
And, there's a video of that.
That was hilarious.
We could win $10,000.
Maybe.
Send it in.
If you would have fallen down, I would have cinched that. But you didn't.
I squeezed my cup. You ain't taking my cup.
Then we walked down to the lodge. Didn't know what to expect, but there wasn't much of a tour of the lodge except the main room. And
I think there was 9 bedrooms and 9 baths in that.
I think so, but it looked awfully small for that.
Well, it was built in the 20s.
I guess so.
People were smaller back then.
Well, that's true. I saw some boots.
I was smaller back then.
You were non-existent back then.
Exactly.
But they had the house decorated very nicely for Christmas.
They also had, do you know what I'm talking about here? No, you don't.
No.
The world's longest set of longhorns.
Oh, how big
9 foot, 10 inches, I believe.
Well, in that
width.
That main room of the lodge,
Mm-hmm.
there were a lot of animal heads.
An elephant, I believe.
There was an elephant, there was
Lion.
giraffe, lion, alligators, crocodiles, buffalo.
Water buffalo.
Oh my gosh. I can't remember how
Hawks.
many. I think that it says here how many.
90?
Was it?
I don't know. 125?
97 heads.
I was close.
And 107 sets of horns. But get this, Frank Phillips was not much of a hunter.
Nope.
And those animal heads were from animals off of his ranch that died of natural causes.
Well, there you go.
Except for that elephant.
Which was a present.
That was a gift
from the Ringling.
from Mr. Ringling. Because I think that it was an elephant that had died of natural causes.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a story behind that. But he had given Mr. Phillips the gift of the elephant head. But I think that he had giraffes on the property at one time.
At one time.
I think Ringling actually sent him some animals to live out their days on his ranch.
That's a possibility.
I think that's what I read or heard somewhere.
Oh, good.
I think that's nice.
It is.
That is nice. I was so excited. We had a wonderful day. We weren't planning on being gone nearly as long.
No. Didn't wake up and say, hey, let's go to Oklahoma.
No. But it was a wonderful
I'm hungry
day.
is what I was thinking when I woke up. Let's have breakfast.
Well, it was a wonderful day.
We can do whatever you want to do. Well, really? Get in the car. Let's go.
Well, we did.
So we did.
That was a wonderful day trip. I recommend it.
We were gone over 12 hours.
We were.
And drove 400 miles.
Mm-hmm.
Over 400 miles.
And we want to go back because there was one section that is closed for the season. I think they reopened first of the year.
I think it's April.
Okay.
I think it's April. Second weekend or so in April.
But that's how you originally learned about it, was this section. What was that section?
It was the Mountain Man Encampment.
And I think they have an event coming up in April.
I think so.
That's probably when we'll go.
That's probably when we'll go.
Because that whole Mountain Man Encampment would that have like things that you can buy, or you just...
I think that weekend does. Traders Row.
Otherwise, it's just an interactive like exhibit?
Yes. Yes.
Would you dress up in your garb?
My garb? My regalia?
Yes.
I guess I could.
Or would you be just a regular guy?
I might just be a regular Joe Schmo.
Huh.
I might take parts of my regalia.
Well, you could blend in. You probably just wear your outfit and you wouldn't even have to pay because they think it's you work there.
I was volunteering there.
Maybe.
Huh. You never know. I might take it just because.
You know, one thing that I thought was kind of interesting?
What's that?
That when Frank Phillips was alive, that he held events there where it was, what was the event? Outlaws and...
Cow Thieves, I think it was.
Outlaws
Cow Thieves and I think Outlaws. Something like that.
And it sounded like a big old picnic where he invited outlaws.
Mm-hmm.
He invited the law enforcement, and he invited his business friends. And they had a 24-hour of amnesty.
Mm-hmm.
So...
check your guns at the door.
There were no guns allowed, and just a big festival of outlaws and police officers and rich business people, sounded like, and just having a hoop and holler and good time.
I may be an outlaw, but you're the police, and you can't do nothing about it right now.
And I guess there's stories that there was a sheriff searching for months for this outlaw, and then they took a picture with each other
right there together
at the event, and then after the event, they were chasing each other.
Chasing each other.
It just sounds like
the good old days.
Oh, I don't think they do that anymore. It sounded like a more innocent time.
Yeah.
But, oh well, I recommend anybody going there.
Yeah,
it's well worth it, and taking your time. Don't just go in and out. Take your time.
Read the stuff.
We missed really exploring because it was getting dark. We got there at 2. It gets dark at 5. We were in the museum, and then we just explored at the Christmas lights.
Yeah, didn't get to.
We didn't get to
drive the grounds to really see the animals and nature.
And we left there, and I think we saw the most exciting thing of the whole day.
Well, you did. You were excited.
I was.
It's Electric Cowboy.
It was.
It was guy dressed up. Actually, it was a mountain man, but you thought it was a cowboy. It's got to be the Electric Cowboy. It's got a rifle that's all lit up with Christmas lights. The horse was even lit up, riding a horse.
That was the neatest thing.
I don't know where he put the solar power battery pack on the horse, but by golly, he was all lit up. It was cool.
It was cool because on the way down the driveway, there weren't many lights away from the museum, but there were a few animal shapes like buffalo and deer and stuff in the field, but they weren't moving. All of a sudden, I saw this set of lights moving.
It's not a mechanical reindeer.
Oh, that was cool. We tried to get some pictures, but we found somebody on Instagram that had a fantastic picture that I'd like to share. Yeah. Give them credit for it. But, oh, my gosh, that was so cool.
It was.
I think that
that gives me ideas for next year.
What, you're going to light up?
I'm going to be all lit up.
Well, Robert.
Yes?
Tell everybody where they can find us.
Well, if we're not in front of you, then we're probably on the website. The website would be www.beentheredoingthat.com.
Exactly. And people can always follow us on Instagram because that's where you spend most of your time.
I'm there all the time.
And that's Been There Doing That. Because we say doing that instead of done that because
we haven't done it all.
We just keep on doing.
Yep.
And if you're ever out on YouTube, why don't you subscribe?
Been There Doing That.
Mm-hmm. And until next time.
Watch your top knot.